Hello and welcome back. So after a long hiatus, I'm back on Witchfire. They just recently put out a big update with a bunch of new guns and a new map and new vault and all this and that. And we're gonna talk about some of the guns. Now, Heart Eater is a reward you would get from completing Torment 8. Now, before we get into what this gun does and all of that, I did want to mention that you get a buff to your weapons if you have all three of the Eater hand cannons. So it's Heart Eater that you get from Torment 8, Corpse Eater that you get from the new vault on Outskirts, and Soul Eater that I believe you get from like Torment 3. It's one of the Torment levels. So to get into Heart Eater and what it does, it says he forged 3 and this was the first. The man he tried it on was a priest who had refused to bless the work. He took the bullet from the chest and kept it. At Mysteria 1 it says critical hits spawn a weak spot on the enemy. Weak spot shots deal extra damage. Now all that means is whenever you shoot something in the head, a white ball will pop up somewhere on their body. It could be their hands or feet or legs or chest or back. Anywhere like that, you'll notice it. It's very noticeable. You shoot that and it does roughly twice as much damage. I can't tell you for sure how much more it does. I haven't done the math on it, but it's enough to make it worth aiming for. Well, that makes this gun really difficult to use, even more so than something like the Hunger, where you just have to get headshots to get the bonus. With this, you have to get a headshot, then maybe a foot shot, then maybe a hand shot, and so on and so forth. It's very difficult to use this gun effectively. At Mysteria 2, it says weak spot hits can spawn additional weak spots. The keyword there is can. It only procs about half the time, but yes, once you shoot one of those white balls, you have a chance for another one to spawn somewhere on their body. At Mysteria 3, it says 3 weak spot hits charge a chain lightning shot that deals bonus damage and spawns more weak spots. So, after hitting 3 weak spots, your 4th shot will be charged with lightning and it will arc between enemies. The only issue I have with this Mysteria, even though it's great, it's cool as hell, is half the time that I finally get the charged lightning charged up, most of the camp's dead. So, but it is really good for, you know, if you kill a bunch of the little small enemies and then you have an elite left, it'll damn near one-shot them. So, it is excellent, but if you end up getting this charged up in a group, it does some work. So, all in all, I guess I'll go over some pros and cons of this gun. The pros is it has super high damage, really high stun power. It has a decent reload speed, especially if you pair it with something like where if you pick up the orb, you get really quick reload speed, but that's not really a pro for this weapon. It only comes with 6 bullets, which I think is pretty balanced. I think it'd be ridiculous if this thing had 12. For the negatives, there's only really one that I can think of, and I mean, it's just really punishing if you can't land your shots. And like I said with the Hunger, where you're just aiming for the head, this one you're aiming all over their body and have to be accurate. So it's super rewarding and super fun if you can land your shots, but if you are struggling, you're not going to get the most out of this weapon. Now, to compensate for those of us that don't have great aim, if you're running Soul Eater and Corpse Eater, you can use the Corpse Eater, and your critical hits and kills with this gun will charge Mysteria 3 on the Heart Eater. So if you're really struggling to hit your shots, you can still use Heart Eater as a backup and just fire off them charged shots whenever they come up. So, all in all, let me know what y'all guys think of this weapon. I got a little compilation. I know a while back when I was doing these videos, people were whining that my intros were too long, so I decided to change it up. We're going to do this part of the video, and then instead of it being an intro, I have a little compilation of me using the weapon coming up. So if you guys enjoy, then like and subscribe. If you didn't, then don't. Either way it goes though, have yourself a very fine day.